Since Qatar won the bid to become the host nation of the 2022 World Cup in 2010, it has been plagued by criticism from its treatment of migrant labor to draconian social regulations and LGBTQ rights. FIFA fans have been waiting anxiously for this year's competition, but in recent weeks there has been a rush of articles about requests for people to skip the once-every-4-year event. But why now? And why the sudden change in perspective towards the Qatar World Cup? In today's video, we will reveal some dark secrets on why the 2022 Qatar World Cup might be one of the greatest football failures, and why corruption is at the forefront of that failure. Let's dive right in. The estimated cost of Qatar's 2022 FIFA World Cup is at an eye-watering $220 billion. This might be the most expensive tournament in the history of football. Fans are thrilled with the World Cup's glitz and glamour and flock in their thousands to this amazing spectacle in years past. But plenty of controversies are also swirling about. Evidently, as we all know, the FIFA World Cup is one of the most watched sporting events in the world, drawing interest from fans and people who are not even followers of football. And for this reason, it is anticipated that over 1 million spectators will travel to Qatar for the World Cup. While some supporters are astounded by the tremendous preparedness the West Asian nation provides, others have voiced their reservations over several contentious choices. To start with, alcohol consumption is currently prohibited in Qatar. Whether this will alter in the future is yet unknown. Beer, wine, and spirits are completely illegal to consume except in the designated fan zones built for fans traveling to the World Cup. There are also a few seedy underground clubs and private settings, and depending on the severity of the crime, if caught intoxicated outside of these zones, they can result in fines and jail time. When he declared they would be innovative with their rules in 2022, the sports minister of Qatar made the world's worst attempt to reassure fans that the country would keep up these harsh regulations. Continuously watching soccer in the sweltering heat is one thing. Being ordered to watch it sober is quite another. But if there is an issue that is troubling almost everyone, it is the amount of slave work in the Middle East. If there was money available to represent underprivileged migrant workers in court, attorneys would be having a field day at FIFA's expense. The organization's capacity to take advantage of the most defenseless individuals happens with an agenda to make the largest amount of profit conceivable, disregarding any semblance of humanity. These employees, who reside in slums, are herded like animals into the construction of the monstrosities. Qatar has made tremendous efforts to punish and even imprison journalists who have covered these issues. Although migratory labor is a problem affecting all organizations and governments, people cannot just sit on their hands and do nothing when poor people disappear like flies in the nation. Depending on who you believe, the number of people dying on construction sites in Qatar is rising at a startling rate. Given this, it's astounding that nothing is being done to stop it from happening in secret. Exploiting the poor till they pass away in the desert is a far worse form of evil than corruption. The temperature may seem insignificant in comparison to some of the other World Cup issues, but holding the tournament in such a warm climate definitely carries certain health risks. Daytime highs will frequently approach 30 degrees Celsius. The temperature has been recorded at a far more comfortable 86 degrees in the middle of the night, so everyone planning to attend and see their side compete on the international stage is encouraged to pack as little clothing as possible, which is acceptable if you're not a woman. Stadiums will have air conditioning, but fans and athletes will still have to endure high temperatures outside. Even without the heat and humidity, the conditions are far from ideal. Qatar submitted a bid for the 2022 FIFA World Cup, knowing full well that the event would have to take place sometime. However, the fact that they were going to host the event in one of the hottest climates in the heart of their summer period had to be addressed once the announcement had been made. The only solution is to stage the tournament in late November until late December. However, this has been met with a huge backlash from all across the globe, as it has disrupted club football and its players. Now that we are days from the beginning of the tournament, it has not received any positive feedback from fans, journalists, or players, to name a few. And ultimately, this may result in a huge failure on a global stage for football's governing body. FIFA is also starting to feel the pressure. You must go back more than a decade in time to really understand why this event has gathered so much criticism. Allegations of corruption plagued the bidding process for the hosting rights for the World Cups in 2018 and 2022. It is important to note that Qatar, who won the competition in late 2010, has always strenuously denied any claims of misconduct during their campaign, and a FIFA probe in 2015 also exonerated them. However, Mohammed bin Hammam, the then president of the Asian Football Confederation, was charged with buying votes to support the candidacy in 2011. Bin Hammam and the parties involved refuted the claims presented by the Sunday Times. A lifetime ban from all football-related activity was imposed on bin Hammam by FIFA in July 2011, as a result of accusations that he attempted to buy votes in the organization's presidential election. He was once more banned in 2012 for conflicts of interest, while serving as the AFC president. Even though the Court of Arbitration for Sport eventually overturned the ruling due to a lack of evidence. Even though bin Hammam is Qatari, the Qatar campaign team has never had an official part in advancing the cause of his country to host the event. In essence, they contend that he acted independently of any potential misconduct. Since then, 16 of the 22 members of the FIFA Executive Committee who voted on the Qatar 2022 bid have been under investigation or charged with alleged corruption or unethical behavior. And of the 22 members, only one is still on the EXCO. The conservative Muslim nation has rules against homosexuality, and some soccer players have expressed concern about spectators traveling to the game, particularly lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals, whose rights groups claim are discriminated against by Qatari legislation. However, the World Cup organizers have emphasized time and time again that everyone is welcome in the competition, regardless of sexual orientation or background. Although, less than 2 weeks prior to the championship games, former international and Qatar World Cup ambassador Khalid Salman claimed that homosexuality damages the mind. He continued by saying that more than 1 million people are expected to visit Qatar for the World Cup, and that they should accept the rules there. While Denmark's soccer team will attend the competition without their families in a show of protest against the nation's human rights record, the Australian soccer squad has spoken out against Qatar's record on same-sex couples and human rights. By the country's existing Islamic traditions and customs, the Qatari government has published extensive do's and don'ts for World Cup fans traveling to the country. Any nation that hosts an event with the magnitude of the World Cup experiences a festival. But this year, things might be different. The tiny Muslim nation might not be tolerant of the inappropriate dressings that has caused problems at previous tournaments. Qatar has made an effort to project an image of openness to foreigners, but the hereditarily ruled nation's traditions are still strongly held. Due to its strict regulations, Qatar's current laws, which are based on conservative Islamic law or Sharia, have drawn a lot of criticism. Moreover, the fundamental Islamic values have been given first importance while establishing the rules for visitors who come to Qatar to support their team. Therefore, if you intend to visit Qatar to see the spectacular FIFA World Cup, you need to be well aware of Qatar's legal system and cultural norms to avoid getting into legal difficulties. While there is flexibility in 5-star hotels, both men and women must cover their bodies from the shoulders to the knees in most public areas, including malls. Even hand-holding is uncommon, and public demonstrations of affection can land you in trouble. There is also the problem of sponsors losing interest. Many companies like Visa, Coke, Budweiser, and McDonald's have warned FIFA to reform or risk losing their support. This is FIFA's biggest setback following the FBI investigation. Now that the PR is so awful, these businesses appear to be taking action. No matter what, the biggest sport on the planet has been tarnished from head to toe as a game that cannot be trusted because it has been governed by the most avaricious, sleazy group of morally bankrupt individuals. With all that being said, some true-to-the-core football fans are getting excited about the great football that will hopefully be on display at this World Cup. Some of the biggest names in the world, such as Messi, Mbappe, and Ronaldo, to name a few, will be taking to the field when the tournament gets underway. So how do you think this event will go down? Will the Qatar World Cup 2022 go down as a great footballing event? Or will corruption and farcical organizing be the forefront and lasting impression? We'll have to wait and see. Make sure to smash a like and subscribe to the channel if this video got you interested for more. If the organizers surprised you, check out the stadiums in the next video. See you there.